Hello Year 1, this is your maths lesson for today. We're going to be revising our number bonds to 20. This might be something you think, I know those already, but we're going to look at them in lots of different ways so that we're really confident, and if we get a question that looks a bit different that needs your knowledge of number bonds to 20, then we can answer it. So the first thing we're going to look at is different ways of making our 20 pence. So this could give us our first question. 20 add 0 makes 20 pence. So we can still think about 0 in our addition questions. This is already 20 pence, we only need 0. Next, can you think of 2 coins that I could add to 10 pence to make 20 pence? 2 coins that I could add. You'd be right if you thought about a 5 and a 5. So we've now got 10, and these two are also worth 10. And let's look at another one. So if I've got 2 pence, let's think about some coins that we could add. So we could keep counting up in twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Have a think about how many pennies would I need to add. If I only had pennies, how many more would I need to add to make that up to 20? It would be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got lots of the coppers here. You need lots of these because they're only very small to make it up to 20. And how many lots of 5 would I need to make 20? How many lots of 5 pence? Let's see. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. We need 4 lots of 5 pence to make up to 20 pence. So that's a quick bit of money revision. We've also looked at lots of from our multiplication topic from a few weeks ago. Different ways to make 20 pence. So we're learning today to use our knowledge of number bonds to 20 to quickly solve calculations. So we're trying not to use our fingers, we're trying to get quick methods to know these. So this down here shows the different colours from the white rows, but these are the same size as our numicon pieces, trying to be caught out by the colours. So if you know all of these pairs to 10, these can help you to know all your pairs to 20. Think about, first of all, what are the patterns of odds and evens? Do we add an odd and an odd, an even and an even, or a mixture to get up to 20? If we look for all our odd numbers, they're always in pairs, 5 and 5, 7 and 3, 9 and 1. Because 20 is an even number, we need those pointy bits to match up so all pieces have a partner. And our evens, 8 and 2 are even, 6 and 4, 10 and 0 as well. We can treat 0 as an even number. So here we've got number bonds to 20. So if I know 5 and 5 is 10, I just add one more 10 to make it to 20. If I know 7 and 3 makes 10, I can add a 10 to one of the numbers. So it could be 17 plus 3 or 7 plus 13. One of the numbers has got to be 10 bigger. And again, this could be 11, add 9, or it could be 1, add 19 to make it up to 20. Let's have a look at part whole diagrams. We're going to be using these tomorrow as well. So our whole today is going to be 20 for all the questions. So I've put that in here, and this can catch people out sometimes. It's also okay to have the 20 here. This sign just means is the same as, 20 is the same as something and something. So these are 4 different ways we could write our facts today. So we'll have to look carefully. I got confused with the colours and put this as a 10 the first time I did this. So we need to look carefully at the shapes and picturing those shapes to help us. So let's start with a 9 first of all. So I'd like you to tell me, I was almost going to do it then, I'd like you to tell me, what do I need to add to make that correct? I've got here a 10 and I've got here a 9. What other piece do I need to make that correct? And it would be a 1. So we could call that 11 plus 9. I could have put the 1 in the other part, made that 10 and 10. I've chosen to put it here. So we can have 11 and 9, 9 and 11. And for these, we could have the same 11 and 9, or 9 and 11 to create our different facts. Let's do one more of those. Get rid of what we've done so far. But the 20 can stay there because we're looking at our whole being 20. This time, let's put a 3 here. And let's have a 7 in here. So think what that makes. We've got a 3 and we've got a 7. So if you know your bonds from this page here, we know that they make a 10. And now we could either make that 17 plus 3, or we could make it 13 add 7. I think let's make it a bit more difficult though. Let's put here an 8. So altogether, we've got 8 is a part and 3 is a part, but we need to make one of these bigger to make up to 20. So I'm going to picture, if I chopped this one just about here, this can make a 2 and a 1. So my 2 could go to here to make that 10. So if I just imagine, that's 10, and there'd be a 1 left over to make that 11. What one piece could I add to make that correct? We've got a 3 and an 8, and 3, well, these are a little bit tiny to fit everything on the screen. 3 and an 8 is the same as 11. We can just see that 10 just chops that 1 off at the top. So it would be our 9. We could put that here, or we could put it here. So we can now put our numbers in. So this is 8, and here we've got a 9 and a 3. So have a think what these would total to. Let's picture that 1 from the 3 making that up to 10, and we have 12. We've now got 12 and 8 makes our 20. And we can also have, let's copy and paste and put these numbers in. We can have our 8 here. It's a bit fiddly. Let's do it like this. Nope, doesn't like that either. We'll do it the long way instead. I'd write these with my pen if I was at school on the board. 8 and 12. And then here, 20 is the same as 12 and 8. 20 is the same as 8 and 12. And we can also, you'll see some tens frames on your sheets as well today. So here's one. I haven't been very helpful because I've put a mixture of blues and reds in the different tens frames. So again with this, we know for all of them that our answer is going to be 20. Or our total, our whole. Always that our 20 is at the end of the calculation. We can also think 20 is the same as the two different numbers. So have a think about how you'd reorganise this. I think a good idea might be to move one of the circles and that's now easier to see. So think about what calculation that's showing us. So we have here a whole 10, a 3, so I know that's 13, and then a 5 and a 2 is 7. So we can write that as 7 plus 13, 14, 13. We need two odd numbers, don't we? So we'd know that was wrong straight away. We looked at that at the beginning. And then we've got 13, add 7. And we can also call that 7 add 13. But we can also call that 13, add 7. So with your tens frames, think about looking carefully at what numbers are shown, and all of yours will be showing 20 as the whole today. Let's have a look at some reasoning problems now. So here we've got a question. I have 20 toy cars. I give some away and have these left. How many did I give away? Now, one thing we haven't used a lot of in year one are these what we call bar diagrams. And a lot of schools are using these all the way up to year 6 and beyond as a way of solving problems. So this is how you use them. So we'd think about this first bar shows 20. It shows how many we had at the start. That's our whole. I give some away. We don't know how many have been given away, but we do know there are 6 left. So we can think that 20 is made up of 6. It's very much like a part-whole diagram. These are very flexible to use with some tricky problems when you get up to the juniors as well. We've got 20 and 6. So what would go in here? We'd have 14. Now 4 and 6 go together to make 10, but if we add 10 more to that number, that makes our 20. So we could then fill in this problem. Didn't mean to do that. Let's click the right one. We can fill this in, but we need to go back and think about what the question was asking us in a second. We've solved that 6 and 14 make 20. How many did I give away? So they had 6 left. It was 14 that were given away. There was a question very like that on one of the papers that we had a look at when we were still at school. Well, let's look at this one. There's some like this for your reasoning today. My total is 20. I add together 2 even numbers. One of them is half of 6. What is the other number? Sorry, I've told you the answer there. I'm always doing that, thinking ahead. One of them is half of 12. What is the other number? Well, I gave you a lot of help and said half of 12 was 6. I'm going to put that on there. So 2 even numbers. One of them is half of 12, which was 6. So that's quite a small number. I know I'm going to need a 10 with this one. So think what number is going to go to make this 16 that we've got so far up to 20. You're right if you said 4. Let's read back the question to make sure we're correct. My total is 20, yep. I add together 2 even numbers, those 2 are even. One of them is half of 12, which is 6. What's the other number? So our other number was 14. My total is 20. I add together 2 odd numbers. Both of them are in the 5 times table. What are my numbers? So for this one, now for the reasoning problems, I've put that you could have a look at 100 square. Let's find one. 100 square interactive. There's a really good one on Top Marks, which is the one I've given you the link for. I was organised and I've kept this up from before. Here we go. So for your times tables, we know our fives pretty well, but I'm just using this as a bit of a demonstration. We can use this to show our tables. We'll only need these smaller ones just here. So I can see in my 5 times table 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's look back at the question. So 2 odd numbers, both are in the 5 times table. So the odd numbers, let's get rid of the even ones. Our odd numbers are here. 5, 15, 25 is too big. So let's make those. Let's put it up there. And that gives us our answer. 15 and 5 go together to make 20. So what are my numbers? We've got 15 and we've got 5. And that is all of our questions. So I have for the reasoning put a couple that are a little bit trickier, but you could use your 100 square to help you to answer them. And let's have a quick look at what your activity looks like. So this is your first sheet. As you can see, there are lots of the diagrams that we've been looking at, tens frames. Thinking about how 4 and 6, we can use that to help us to do 4 and 16, our bar models, and then just a quick problem, colouring all your number bonds to 20.